remake of Poltergeist. They could have done so much more with this. So, like, when you do original film, right, and then you do sequels to that film that flesh out, you think if you're going to remake that classic film, why not? There's only been one remake that I know of that actually does this. Why not use elements from all of the entries in the franchise and kind of make it? Like, they could have added Kane here. They could have added a better reason for the ghost to come after her. But no, it's basically the same thing. And if you're wondering, the one remake that I know of that does do what I said, Friday the 13th. It mixes bits from the first 4 Friday the 13th movies together to tell a new story-ish. Where this one, they could have, it's retreading a lot of things from the original. The family is different. The state they live in is different. There's no Tangina. Instead, there's Kerrigan Burke, played by Jared Harris. But it's basically the same story. It's now the Bowen family instead of the Freeling family. It's still a mom, dad, 2 girls, and a boy. All the same ages, although none of them is blonde. They still call it a paranormal, paranormal expert for help, who brings in a couple of assistants, and then she calls in someone else. This time, instead of it being Tangina, it is Kerrigan Burke, like I said. And it's basically, you get the whole, they're here, and there's a clown thing, and a tree attacks the boy, and instead of the dad tearing his, instead of the assistant guy tearing his face off, you get a drill thing where the drill gets going closer and closer. It's not really that scary. Instead of smoking weed, we get an almost sex scene with the parents where she's like, "Take your pants off." Like, "Yes, ma'am." And then Griffin, the son, runs in. The one thing I could say about this film that makes it worth watching is Sam Rockwell. He is just he's taking this whole movie by the reins, and he's giving it his best. He comes across just like I said, they have mentioned scene where she's like, "Take out your pants." Like, "Yes, ma'am." Takes him down. Son comes in. "Oh, hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. How's it going? Hey. And then there's a scene, and I actually did this. He comes back, and because the little daughter, whose name is Maddie in this one instead of Carol Ann, she's like, "I want pizza." So he goes out, and he buys pizza. He buys a bunch of other stuff. But he buys pizza, and then Mom's like, "Well, I made chicken nuggets." He goes, "That's okay. We'll have them both." And he put the chicken nuggets on the pizza. Is what he says. And then he's like, "How's the pizza?" She's like, "Not very good." Because you gotta put the nugget, you gotta eat it with the nuggets. Oh, put a nugget on there. I actually did try that once. Put chicken nuggets on pizza. It's not bad. It's not bad. Don't just do it like he does it though. First of all, you have to do the chicken nuggets in the microwave so that they're somewhat heated up. They're not frozen. Cook the pizza partially, so it's mostly done. Don't do it on frozen pizza. It's not going to get done fast enough. It's mostly done, not completely. It's not crispy crust stuff. It's mostly done. You put the chicken nuggets on, place them where they are, add shredded cheese on top and back in the oven for like 5 to 10 minutes. The rest of the pizza will get done. It'll cook the rest. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Yeah. Because, like I said, I did watch this movie before. This is actually the first Poltergeist movie I watched. I found it on a video. I bought it, and I watched it, and I thought it was okay. I still think it's okay. Sam Rockwell makes it worth your while. And I think Rosemary DeWitt as the mom is also pretty good. I also like Jared Harris. They're giving it their all in this. But it is mostly a rehash, and a lot of the stuff, they're like, "Oh, this is a remake." We're not going to surprise them. So we're just gonna lay it out. Like the whole reveal with the bodies underneath, the whole reveal with the whole burial ground thing is done at a dinner. Mom and dad go to a dinner and they're like, oh, yeah, we were gonna move there, but we found out about the graveyard thing. So we didn't. What graveyard? Oh, there used to be a graveyard there, but they moved everything out and buried it. Just nonchalant. And then later they're like, oh, there's no bodies here, and the second lady's like, oh, I don't, like, they moved the bodies. Oh, I don't think they did. Just the reveal of Steve going, you son of a bitch, you moved the headstones, but you didn't move the bodies. Just how he does that. It's so much better. This is so nonchalant here. And even the they're here is done subpar by this little girl. They're here. Oh, are they? Okay. Am I supposed to be scared? Because that wasn't scary. That's the biggest problem with this movie. It's not scary. The original one didn't scare me, per se, but it still has a freaky, thing to it. A lot of stuff was practical. They even used real bodies in that. But here, it's all CGI. And so that takes away from it completely. So it doesn't work. The other side, or whatever they call it here, they actually show it here when originally they didn't. They didn't wait until the second one to show it, and it's a good idea. It's all like weird CGI hands and stuff. Here's an arc for the character of Griffin, the son, where he's scared because his mom accidentally left him at a mall, and the daughter says there's no mall there, but then the dad gets the stuff he buys from the mall. So, I don't understand that. It's contradictive. But, yeah, and the son actually, nuts up and goes through and saves his sister. But then they do the false ending. Oh, we're done. Everything's okay. And we're getting ready to leave. They have Kerrigan Burke come in before this, and he's like telling off his scars. Oh, I got this from there, and oh, no, this one, I got what's that one? Oh, I'll tell you when it's over. And then it's over. He's all having, oh, a boom mic hit me in the head. No ghost. No, just a sleepy cameraman with a bad microphone. It's okay. And then like he has this line because he is their Tangina in this one, so he says this house is clean because Kerrigan Burke is a paranormal TV show host who I thought I remembered being a fake, but I guess that's been done so much that I kind of lumped it in there. He's actually real. A real ghost hunter guy. But I guess that trope of it being fake has been done so much, I just thought it was. But when he, on his show, finishes, he says, this house is clean. And so they make him say that. The daughter does. The oldest daughter is like, you gotta say the line. It's for my friend, you gotta say the line. He's like, the house is clean. Oh, come on, put some ghost on it. The house is clean. And then the little girl obviously says, but it's not. I'm like, what are you talking about? You led him to the light. I tried to, but I didn't go in. I wouldn't go in, so they didn't go either. And so we get a cliche, it's not over type thing. Pulls the car into the house, and Kerrigan has to go in after them, after the daughter, and save her. And you think he's dead, but it turns out he survived because there's a thing at the end, credits. And instead of the funny bit where they go to a hotel room and the dad pushes the TV out, they cut to, there's a whole plot line where the dad doesn't have a job. Like, neither of them really do. She's a book writer, so she doesn't really have a job. And he lost his job. But yet, they're moving to a new house, which in the original, they lived there for a while. This one, it kind of makes sense that the stuff just starts happening because they just moved into this house. And so, but they were living at that house for a while in the original, so it's a little confusing why it just starts happening. There's no reason for it, but especially once you find out the backstory and lore in the other one, it's like, if they were living there for a while, how come, and that's been underneath there, and why didn't it come after them sooner? Maybe she had to be a certain age, like, how was she, like 6 years old in the original? Maybe she had to be 6 for it to come after. I don't know. Is it 6? Because it's just 6 there. And the second one came out in 1986. The actress would have been like 8, but the character was 7 because of it was a year later. So then by the third one, which came out in 1989, right? 87, 88. 88? It's right here. On the disc, right? 88. Well, if she was 6 in the original, 7 in the first one, and this is supposedly, if it takes place in 1988, which is, if the first film took place in 1982, right? Second one would take place in 1983. So that would mean that if this one takes place in 1988 and she was 6 in the first one, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88. That's 6 years. She would be 12. Okay, they did do the math right. All right. Assuming that I'm right and she was being 6. Here, I think she's around the same age, maybe a little older. I don't know. And yes, they bring technology in it. Griffin's got a tablet and talk about the daughter's cell phone goes zapped, and so she needs a new one. Technology. They got flat screen TVs now instead of the tube ones. But yeah, so instead of the whole gag with there, they show that he now has a job. He's like a coach or something, and they go to look at a new house, and they say there's plenty of closet space, and so they leave. They take off, and it's like, okay, the joke is supposed to be closet space because the daughter was being yanked through a closet, but that's all they're scared of is their closet space. I thought I remember hearing something about, oh, there was a little, or someone did die in this house or something like that, and so they ran off. But I don't know, just closet space because she was taken into a closet, and you got Nicholas Braun in here as the sidekick guy who's white, but then there is an African American girl there too, so they kind of, I think they added 2 kids. I think she only had one. I have to rewatch the original one. I think about showing the first one to my son, at least the first one. But it's PG, right? It's 80s PG, but it's still PG. But yeah, it's fine for what it is, but it's not as good as the original. You know what? I'll give it a middle of the road. It's not that bad, actually. Most people say, oh, it's shot for shot, so it's not worth it. But there are some differences here and there. But, like, there's no falling in the pool thing. There's no mom gets attacked in her bed by an invisible spirit type thing. But there is the clown thing. The Griffin beats the shit out of the clown. That sort of thing. But it's the middle of the road. Because I don't hate it. Even after rewatching the original and the sequels, you can hate it. But I feel like if they incorporated, like I said at the beginning of this, they incorporated bits and pieces of the original trilogy into this. Like, if they added Kane, and they added a line where the mom says, like, oh, my sister is, we got a mail from my sister. It's an invitation to her wedding. She's getting married. Yeah, the guy's nice. He lives in this big high-rise and already has a daughter. That sort of thing. Like, nods to the original stuff. And bring in Kane. I know you're not going to recreate. You can even give him a different name like you did with the rest of these characters, but still. Bring in a character like that. Try to take everything from the original franchise, put it into one movie if you can, and kind of encompass what the original franchise was about instead of pretty much copying the first movie. But yeah, it's a middle of the road. Some would say it's not worth your time, but it's a middle of the road for me. Would I rewatch this again? Probably. This is the first time in years that I have watched it because I didn't have I didn't want to go back. But, it's fine. So, what are your thoughts on Poltergeist, remake it. Let me comment below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let's see. Yes. Next, we're in a situation. Because next we're going to talk about a franchise that I didn't ever think I was going to cover. And I'll explain why when I start talking about this franchise. I've never seen these before, so they're fresh watches, these three. But they involve Eli Roth. So keep that in mind. Till then, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one. Excuse me, I burped.